need to be in a situation where everyone is supporting the talent. So yeah, people think boxing is a very dangerous sport, but which sport really isn't? We had news a few days ago of a player in the West African nation collapsing and dying on the field. It was football, for heaven's sake. Well, those are some of yes, it was in
from Burundi.
Well, it was Burundi. Yes,
Yeah,
yes. That was sad. But thank you so much, Peter Pinches Mora, for confirming that indeed those kids have full support from their parents. Well, before we were talking about the congestion of Gor Mahia and other things that are happening, before we turn our attention to the Kenyan Premier League, Joel Ndungu is saying about the Gor Mahia crazy fixture. Surely they have more than 11 players at hand. By the way, who does the match scheduling? I think it's Kenya Premier League, Mr. Ndungu. Someone else not saying who they are. Ananiuza tunaona na yeye match ya game ya Man U when. All right. Tutapanga baba. I don't know kama ni baba ama ni mama. You haven't said who you are, but anasema Florence Ndongo, beautiful as ever, show inabamba, asante sana. Pia si unatubamba. Wanauliza tunaona game ya Man U when we will know. Ndauliza bwana producer, bwana director, kama atanipea ruhusa nikaone game. Na amesema Man U ni kesho. Kwani unaniuza director? He's telling me that I don't know unataka kuniuza ng'ombe ngapi lakini ni sawa. Someone is saying Alcomax, my friend from Magongo in Mombasa. Alcomax is saying with Gor Mahia fixtures case, they should just endure, but next time the FKF should just take care of the team that will be playing the continental game, bearing in mind it's not for their own glory but for the country too. Just a change needed, Gor Mahia to benefit of all. Asante sana bwana Alcomax from Magongo in Mombasa County. Those are your thoughts. Keep them coming on 0739110544. That is our SMS line. Still on what is happening today, we have a couple of matches. Tusker versus Gor Mahia, Kariobangi Sharks versus Posta, KCB versus Kakamega Homeboys, Chemli Sugar versus Nzoia, Western Stima versus Sony Sugar. How are the results so far?
We have currently we have two matches ongoing. The two teams from the Sugar Belt region, Chemeli locking horns with Nzoia. Currently Nzoia leading 1-0 at the 650 minute, and Chemeli have gone down to
so
10 men.
Winning?
Nzoia is leading 1-0.
Yeah.
And then the other match pitting KCB, the Bankers, against Kakamega Homeboys. KCB is leading by a solitary goal, which came at the first minute of the game.
Yeah, first minute.
yeah. So they're leading 1-0. And we are at the 36th minute currently. All right. So as it stands, Ingwe has dropped down again to 12th. Yeah,
Michael Kwando, are you hearing?
So let's see what they'll be able to do tomorrow. They have a game tomorrow. The Ingwe fans.
Yeah, they have.
Maybe they'll be
playing Bandari.
Yeah.
Bandari is not an easy.
It's not an easy task for them.
Yes.
They may be losing that game.
Let me ask you in regards to the matches that are happening today. The KCB versus the Kakamega Homeboys. Maybe Kakamega Homeboys had not settled into the match because it has been very. There's a match they held to Gor Mahia to a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
And it has been very hard to get a point from Kakamega Homeboys. Maybe they were napping. Do you foresee a situation maybe perhaps they might come back into the match?
Yeah, of course. It's only a goal and they're playing at home. So I think it's a match they can come back and nick in maybe a goal and get a
Kakamega is at home or away?
Yeah, they're playing at home. Actually, yeah, they're playing at home. So they might be able to come back and nick in a goal, get a point, or maybe get another goal, get 3 points.
Yeah.
It's Kakamega is a good side as compared to their opponent. So I think they'll be able maybe to get a point to push them up the log of the
Nzoia
KPL.
Sugar, you said, is leading 1-0. Nzoia is 11th on the log. Chemli Sugar is 13th on the log.
Yeah.
This game in Alalia side gani? Who is winning?
I think Nzoia is losing as it stands. Actually, Chemeli are down to 10 men. So I think they'll be able to take home all the 3 points as it stands.
All right. We have another big one. Gor Mahia versus Tusker.
Wow.
I hope the tired legs won't start showing this early because I think Tusker also is coming back very strongly. Yeah.
Actually, as it stands, Tusker are at the 6th place on the log.
Yeah.
If they'll be able to get the 3 points against Gore, they'll move
To the
up to fourth.
Yeah.
So, and moving up to fourth will place them in a position whereby they can be able to challenge for a place in the continental showpiece next season.
Yeah.
So it will be a tough goal for a tough game for Gore, because Tusker want to get a position whereby they can play the next season's showpiece, continental showpiece.
Yeah.
And Gore, having played around the last week, they've played around 3 matches. So it will be a very, very tricky game for them. Maybe they should go out there. But Tusker are playing at home.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It's a game that Tagore should go out there and maybe try to get the worst they should be getting is a draw. If they lose and Sofapaka wins, then they'll be on their tails, and it will be a really tricky situation for Gore, considering the fixtures that they have going forward.
Sofapaka is second on the log with 48 points. Mathare United imeshuka hadi fifth, but they are clashing.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, what is your expectation on that particular game?
Mathare should go out for all the 3 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should be going out for the 3 points against. They are playing
Sofapaka.
against Sofapaka. Sofapaka are second. Mathare are fifth.
Fifth, yes.
The same scenario comes. Sofapaka will be looking to be on goals hills, and Mathare should be looking maybe to play in the continental showpiece next season. So it will be also a very, very tough match. Maybe a draw should be sufficing for this game.
You foresee a draw?
Yeah.
FC Leopards ya Matere ama ya kina Kwendo.
Wow, Ingwe.
They take on Bandari. Bandari is third on the log with 45 points.
Yeah.
Well, Sofapaka, of course, now they are AFC. They are 11th according to the results so far of other teams, and they have 31 points.
Yeah. So for AFC, the good thing is they'll be having their home crowd behind them. That's tomorrow when they face Bandari. But Bandari is also a very, very strong team, as we have seen this season. But considering the form in which AFC are in and playing at home, then I think they'll be going all out for the 3 points. And I think they have that capability to get the 3 points.
They need to keep my director happy. They better win this one. Kwendo nimekutetea, so don't be mad at me. All right. Well, that's where we call it a day in terms of what is happening in the Kenyan Premier League. Well, let's turn our attention to what is happening not only at Charter Hall. Peter Binches Baora, who nowadays is my BFF. Let's see something he did over the weekend. Over the week, while differences have rocked the Boxing Association of Kenya ahead of the 2019 Kenya Open Boxing Championship that kicked off on Wednesday, BAK President John Kameta is of the view that the competition, which serves as a trial for the All-African Games and the African Championship, was purposed to be held in Mombasa, with the other factions supported by BAK SG Isaac Mbote and presidential aspirant Anthony Jamal Ombok are staging the event at the Charter Hall in Nairobi as per the unified Serena calendar. Our reporter Peter Maura had a one-on-one chat with BAK SG Isaac Mbote and prepared the following piece. Take a look.
Yes.
First of all, thank you for this chance to talk to you.
No, it's okay.
You've been part of boxing for a very long period, so you understand
Yes, a long time,
a
yes.
lot of these dynamics in terms of boxing. First of all, quick one. What most people want to know. I know we have two warring factions in terms of BAK.
Yeah.
One is staging an event in Mombasa,
Yeah.
while the other one is staging it in Charter Hall, where we are. According to the Serena calendar, the unified calendar,
Which I believe you have.
yeah. On my desk.
Okay, all right.
The event is supposed to kick off, was supposed to be held at the Nairobi Charter Hall. First of all, clarify about the whole issue. Why are we having two warring factions again?
Let me answer your question very simply.
Yeah.
If you can remember, we had a unified calendar.
Okay.
And the two factions you're talking about, of course, came to Serena.
Yeah, okay.
Apart from the interim chairman, Mr. Kameta, who was not present. But then he sent his purported Secretary General, Mr. Kano Mungori or something like that, Kano Mungori. He came and we were all there. So we stood there and I had drawn the calendar for the year event. And once we sat down, the two functions, we did agree that the unified calendar is the one that is going to be used for 2019. But unfortunately, again, as time went on by, Kameta came up with another idea, said he was going to give the boxing fraternity another new calendar.
Okay.
So we were left wondering what kind of other calendar he was going to give. So we waited, and eventually, of course, he did that.
Yeah.
I remember he did launch it in one of the national TVs.
Yeah.
I also just wait on TV.
Yeah.
And we were surprised, but we said, let us wait and see the way forward. So eventually, of course, to answer your question now, that's why we have the unified calendar, which we both agreed, the two factions you're talking about. That's why I, as Isaac Mbote, interim secretary general, I'm in Charter Hall. Kameta and his other team are in Mombasa.
Bamburi Beach.
I hear Bamburi Beach, I don't know. However, this is a repeat of last year, league tournament. If you can remember, we had two league tournaments, which even the former minister was really against it. And it is the same thing that is happening again. So we had Kakamega, and of course we had Mwingi. And if you can look at the way the situation is, the former minister came to the unified calendar of event during our league in Kakamega. He attended my boxing tournament. And even this one, we are looking forward to seeing some. I've written letters to the people from the ministry, the National Olympic Committee, and the Kenya National Sports Council. I hope they're going to send representatives to come and see, because this is a national event. This is where you're going to pick the national team that will do duty for 2019 and 2020. And most of our boxers we are going to select are the boxers who will participate during the All Africa Games and the Africa Boxing Championships. And if we qualify for 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo, this is the same team that you're going to pick here that will do duty for 2019 and 2020.
That is good to hear from you.
Thank you.
Against the same faction from Mombasa, they believe the event will be the one that will be used to pick the team that will represent Kenya in terms of the African Championship.
Somebody somewhere is lying to people.
Okay.
This is the one. But however, let me clarify here. The same boxers were in Mombasa. Once they have done their selection, we are going to do ours. We will sit down again. The two are in functions.
Yeah.
We'll sit down together and come up with one national team. And that is the essence of the whole thing about Kenya Open. We are not going to say the boxers in Mombasa are going to be out of the national team. No, considering most of the bulk of the team, they come from the services. But unfortunately, the two services, that is prison and KDF for Mombasa. Well, here we have prison, we have police and other 14 counties from the whole country. So we shall combine. I do believe we will sit down and combine the whole national team. And we'll come up with a unified national team. Yeah.
People are saying that if we don't come together, well, I remember when you had a meeting in January with the former CS, Rashid Echesa. It was to try and salvage the dwindling fortunes of Kenyan boxing.
Yes.
People thought that we were going down to the drainage. But again, you came up together, and hopefully, even this time, you can come up together and bring back everything on the same table and finally have a team that can even represent Kenya in the Tokyo Olympics. Quick one. The punches from left, right, from different warring factions.
Uppercuts.
The elections are coming. I understand we are supposed to have the election. Is it July? Supposed to have the election around July?
Let me clarify some issue here, because everybody's waiting for the elections. Somebody somewhere is crying wolf. Let me say that. That's number one. Number two, the elections have to be done. Okay? The elections will be done. Doesn't matter how long it's going to take, although the elections, of course, are overdue. The elections are going to be done. All we are waiting for is a sports registrar. Once the people who have applied for application to be registered with the sports registrar, she has all the applications for all the counties that want to participate in the elections. Once she's satisfied with whatever she's trying to say, I'm sure she'll be able to come up with registration for all the countries that are registered. Once that is done, we will sit down and the elections are going to be called, whether somebody likes it or not. Okay? The elections will be done.
The election will still go on.
They'll go on. Although I'm not very sure, I heard there was a meeting and somebody, I think people from the ministry, that have said all federations must hold the elections. I think I have not heard about it. I'm only hearing people saying so. But if that is the case, then even us are not going to be left behind. We will hold elections, whether somebody likes it again or not. We will hold elections.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the election. We have the likes of Anthony Jamal Ombok, who is, he's one of the aspirants. By the time we were having the national novices, it was Anthony Jamal Ombok and Kentrak, I think Kentrak Otieno.
Yeah.
But later, Kameta then came back and decided that he's not going to leave boxing in the hands of cartels. I mean,
He said cartels?
yeah, said cartels.
It's unfortunate.
Quote unquote.
He's the cartel.
So maybe do we have like a list of who will participate by now? I mean, something that is going to change before the deadline, maybe on before all the counties, the boxing counties decide on the date of the elections. We have a clear list of
like I said, the registrar has applications for all the counties that have applied for application. So she's the one who will come up with that list, all right? But as far as I'm concerned, I know over 19 counties have already applied for application with the sports registry. Now that is one. Two, it's unfortunate that I know from what you're asking, Jamal is Thomas Ombok, I think, he's Antonio Ombok, Aka Jamal. He's the chairman of Kisumu County. He has every right to contest for any position he wants. But since he has declared he wants to go for the presidency, which is okay, I cannot stop him, neither can I say no. So the other opponent that we were told was Kentrak, who was also vying for the same position. And I think Kentrak is the chairman of Nairobi County, okay? And I'm looking forward to seeing others coming up, because this is democracy. This is a democracy. It's open to anyone. But unfortunately, again, from what I know, Kameta had said he was not going to contest. Okay? Of course, as you know, the way I know Kameta, he has had squabbles. Not only when HSR left, Kameta has had squabbles even with the former minister, Wario. You know, remember there was the Rio, debacle, there was a London. Kameta was fighting everybody, left. He also fought the former Olympic Committee. But I'm not surprised. That is Kameta. I know him better than a lot of people. So I'm not surprised after HSR left, okay, the scene, Kameta comes back and says he's in the race. That is his democracy, okay? But that means we have 3 horses, but I can see one dark one. I might not say which one. But from the look of things, wacha twende kwa debe, the delegates will decide. The delegates will decide. And for the first time in the history of Kenya, we are going to have not less than 57 delegates taking part. Previously, we've had about 27, 30, but this time, since we are voting, we have gone to the devolved government. We are going counties, but somebody is trying to cheat people and derail and say we are going to vote on regions. We are no longer in regions. And the reason I'm saying that, because during the regions, we used to have Rift Valley. It considered Nakuru, Nanyuki, Eldoret, okay? But now Nanyuki is no longer in Rift Valley. It is in Laikipia, okay? And they have also applied to be allowed to participate in the forthcoming elections. And they also have a boxing team, and they're taking part here, okay? So Nanyuki will come as a county, all right? So somebody somewhere who thinks that we'll do on regions is very wrong. And I'm sending this message to those people who are thinking that way. They're very wrong. We'll vote on counties. Because this is oh yes, of course, yes. And will people be proposed and seconded? The delegates will vote and will decide. But I'm looking forward, because these squabbles have been going on for too long. I'm looking forward to the day they will come to an end, because they will come to an end. Yes. For the sake of boxing, yes. I think we are hurting the boxers and the boxing fraternity, even the public, the members of the public. Even the ministry is not happy with the squabbles that are taking place. They're not happy. We've had sentiments coming from them. They're saying they're not happy. But these things have got to come to an end.
We want the hit squad, the back days of the history hit squad. We want that to come back again. We want to see boxers winning medals. We want to see...
It's not magic. Yes, it will come back once the office has been put in place, and once the coaches also come down with a program, and once that is done, I can assure you, given time, and I'm sure the hit squad will be back, given time, and in due course, of course.
Yes. Well said from your side, Bona Mbote.
Yes.
I think we should look for Kameta and see what he has to say about
Exactly,
it.
look for him. Look for him.
Yeah, but a quick one now, away from the whole wrangles in the BAK in terms of the opens, which open will produce the national team, which open will be, I think that's the conversation that we'll be following up and
I think I said earlier, we'll combine both.
Yeah.
If we've had a unified calendar and people are trying to deny it, that's why we have two League Kenya Opens. It's unfortunate. One in Mombasa, of course, we are not going to leave, and I repeat, we are not going to leave those boxes. Even the ones who are here, we are not going to leave these ones either. We'll sit down and come up with a
Make sure
resolution.
you come up with the best team.
Yes, of course.
Quick one before I let you go. Let's
Yes.
talk about the state of Kenyan boxing. Where do you think we are now? Have we achieved anything? Probably where we were 3 years ago. Are we still in the same place? Are things changing?
We have come from top, we are in the middle, now we are heading down. And I have to say this, boxing, something needs to be done, but it is because of bad leadership. We are dwindling every day. And if this continues, it will take us a long time before we get back to where we used to be. Because you people keep on saying we want to go back where hit squad was. If we continue with this rate, you might not be able to see the same squad, hit squad you know 20 or 30 years ago. It will take you maybe another 30 years to see another hit squad for 30 years down the line. But all said and done, we hope we'll sit down. If the new office is elected and comes up, I'm sure whoever is vying or whoever are vying for top position, they'll come up with a strategy to strategize again and bring back hit squad. And I can assure you, given time, the hit squad, once the office is in place, they'll be able to do something. Because if people can do this within a very short time, why can't you have a good hit squad within a very short time? I'm sure you'll be able to get a good hit squad.
Asante sana Bwana Isaac.
Karibu.
Nimeshukuru sana for your
Asante.
time.
Asante.
Thank you for the insights.
No, it's okay.
And hopefully we can see brighter days for boxing.
We are looking forward to that too.
Yeah.
Even me, I'm looking forward to that too.
Brighter days.
Of course, yes.
Asante sana.
Karibu. Thanks very much.